Welcome to the latest episode of the Garbolino Midland match. We're out today, back at Moorlands again on Bank Pool. Jumped on peg 5, decent peg. Grant's kindly let us come down and film for the day. Bit awkward with the wind and the sun. I've had to put the camera on the other side today, so just have to make do with it. I can't put it on the left hand side of me because the sun picks it up too much. So it is what it is. We give it our best. We've come down today. We're going to fish with micros and expanders for this video. A bit of ground bait. We've simply got a favourite mix, which is my own mix, green betaine mixed with a bit of dark sweet fish meal just to darken it off. Over wetted. A few micros in with that. We've probably fed a little golf ball size to start with a few micros in it, and then it's just a case of going over the top with soaked up 4mm expander. We're predominantly targeting the skimmers, and then obviously hopefully we'll snare a few F1s and carp along the way. The big skimmers are the main thing. Settle boys, got 11 metres, nice and comfortable. I was going to go 13, but a lot of pleasure anglers don't like going that far out. So if I fish it at 11, it covers everyone really. Elastic wise, got the old faithful 8 to 10 hollow Garbolino fighter. Love this elastic. I'd say this 4 to 6 and 8 to 10 are probably the two most used elastics for me. Love them both. And then maybe up to a 10 to 12 in the warmer months. Quite a big float because he's quite breezy and it's cutting across the peg. And there is a bit of toe on it as well. So I've gone for a 0.8 gram antenna style float. 017 mainline, a couple of back shots just to hold it steady in place. That's gone 017 down to a little Olivet and then just a spread out number 10s, probably 2 inches apart in sort of the last 18 inches of the rig, just to slow that fall down. Presentation wise, I've gone for the heavier float just for stability and presentation, as we are expander fishing. If we're fishing with pinkies and ground bait or maggots and ground bait, I'd definitely just cut that out and go for the reverse taper. Hook length wise, I've been having a little play around with the fluorocarbon on the hook lengths this winter. So we've got an 010 fluorocarbon down to a 16. It's it's not a fine wire hook for your silvers, it's sort of an intermediate one. 16 purely because we're using bigger baits. If you was using pinkies or maggots or anything, I'd drop down to an 18. But yeah, started feeding, we'll give it a go and see what we can get. Right, as I said, it is a bit breezy today, so I've tried to position the mic out the wind as best as I can, but we're probably going to pick up the odd bit of wind every now and then. But hopefully you'll hear and see enough to get a gist of winter expander fishing. I mean, it's what we're in now, Sunday the 2nd of February. I mean, we're quite lucky today being able to get bank on a Sunday. As it turns out, that was a free and available, so I jumped at the chance to come and film on it. I probably fed that little golf ball 10 minutes ago. Hopefully, drop over the top with a 4mm expander. It won't take long before we're into new skimmers, or even carp or big F1. With the wind as it is, I'd have preferred to be on the opposite bank, so 16, 18 around there. But there's already a couple of lads on there. So unfortunately I've had to film Me back half towards you. Toad's absolutely tearing through at the minute. A fish in the river, just running the rig through. I don't do a lot of expander fishing in the winter. I tend to spend my winters going for the silvers. But bank is rammed full of big weight building decent sized skimmers, and they do love the micros and expanders on here. The normal open lads who do fish the expander, they'll often have sort of 20, 25, maybe even 30 pounder skimmers in between the carp, fishing 2 and 4 mil expanders over micros. I always like to put a bit of ground bait with mine, especially when you're targeting the skimmers. A little indication then, a good sign. Yeah, I always tend to put just a bit of ground bait. The bank pool is quite deep. I just think, especially the overweighted ground bait, put a little pinch of micros in with your sort of golf ball size to keep the swim off. The micros get carried straight down to the deck then. And them skimmers and carp and F1s will come in mooching in that little blob of overweighted ground bait. And hopefully I'll pick your expander out. There you go. First proper bite then. Little tip for your expanders as well. Depending what brand you use, like these are the mainline ones. Just have a little tub of water and a side tray next to it. Just give it a little squeeze in the water just to get the air out, and that'll make it sink. Doing them in the sandwich bag way, they will float. That's it, fine. Little tip, I think the Sonu baits, they will sink. You ain't got to worry about them. But your main line, your Blakes, anything like that, yeah, sensors. In fact, I think sensors do 2 types. They do one that sinks and one that floats. But just put a little tray, a tub of water on your tray, and just give it a little squeeze in there, get the air out, and they will sink. There you go. Didn't take us too long to get our first bite. Lovely little skimmer, I think. Lovely little pellet port skimmer. But you want to start the day off. It probably took 10 minutes. A few indications. Wind's a bit of a nightmare, it's hacking right through the peg. But the bigger float definitely seems to be doing the job. And it is towing a fair bit, like I said. And that was just running it through. following the wind and the tow, and then just holding it back every now and then. And that bite come just holding it back, just past where I'd fed. So we'll get another pellet on, crack on, see if we can get some of the bigger ones. Just had that bite. Going back out, I've put a tiny sort of thumbnail ball of ground bait, probably half a dozen micros in the little toss pot. Still only fed that initial one through the big pot at the start. Golf ball size, over wet ground bait. Probably a dozen micros in it. We had that bite probably it was less than 10 minutes. We'll just top it up. Half a dozen, little pinch of micros. Tiny little thumbnail sized ball of ground bait. Get the micros to stick to that. That's purely just to carry them down to the bottom. We're only fishing 11 metres, but we're 6 foot deep. And with that wind and that tow, I want to get them micros down to the bottom as quick as possible. Hopefully, won't be long before we get our next one. There we go. Too long to get our second bite. Feels a bit better. Got a carp on F1. Big old bank coming. Perfectly. Top lip. It just goes to show. Been fishing probably 15 minutes. See if he'll calm down enough to hold him up. In 15 minutes. With that little skimmer to start with. We've got that lovely big common. Probably £7, £8. Beginning of Feb, fishing little expanders over a few micros and a bit of ground bait. Personally, I still prefer pinkies and ground bait, but I do love me silvers. And that's just, I mean, it's dead simple fishing really. 4mm expander over a little pinch of micros, put that little golf ball in at the start. Away we go. Get this back out there. See if we can snare another one for you. Repeat the process again. 4mm expander on the hook. Little pinch of micros, half a dozen or so. And then just a tiny blob. That over wetted ground bait. That's basically push it in a bit, get the micros to stick to it. I'm basically just using it as a carrier. Bit of a slight bit of attraction on the bottom, and then just a carrier for them micros to get them down. So the wind is cutting through, and it's towing quite bad. And, I think for the beginning of February, 2 fishing, 10 minutes on expander, 15 minutes on expander. Can't really grumble. I mean, Grant has done a brilliant job with this pool, to be fair, bank pool. The winter fishing, it's one of the best down here for the skimmers. But you can also sneak in the odd carp like that, carp and big F1 as well. I mean, there's a fair few of us today around here. It's the only lake he's got open for pleasure fishing. There's a fair few blokes on here today. And everyone's catching. Some fishing short poles, some fishing long, some fishing the tip, some fishing for silvers. Everyone's catching. It's always nice to see. It's definitely what you want when you come out winter fishing. A few bites. There we go. Another bite. Another skimmer, I think, by the looks of it. Lovely pellet caught skimmer. Beautiful fish, probably 5, 6 ounce, it's not that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little video. It's just a short video today to give you a rough guideline or baseline for how we'd fish micros and expanders in the winter. Probably only been fishing 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And we've had probably half a dozen of them skimmers that size, and that one little bonus carp, probably 6-7 pound. But yeah, it's just to give you a rough idea on how you'd approach if you wanted to fish micro and expanders. You can tweak it. As I said, it's just a guideline, a basic guideline. You're probably starting a ball that big, dozen micros to kick it off, and then just tweaking it and topping it up as you go along. If you was targeting a more silvers approach, So you was going for your more skimmer type, I'd definitely just stick with the 2mm expanders. But if you are going more carpy, I'd go with the 4s and maybe even 6s as well. And then, as I said, you can just tweak it on the day. So if you feel they want less ground bait, more micros, swap it round, or the other way around if they want more ground bait and less micros. But yeah, I hope you liked that little video. It's a short one today. Weather's been lovely, considering how it's been the past few weeks with all these storms coming through. So we want to try and get a couple of videos done today. But yeah, if you did like it, please like and subscribe. If there's anything else you want to see us film, just drop a little comment in the section below and we'll do our best to get out there and film it for you. See you on the next one. Thanks a lot.